play with something today. We're all going to do a little exercise, but I'll explain it in such a way that it will work very easily on the radio. So today I'm talking about a game plan, doing a sales game plan. Now, there's no point me asking you if you've ever done one of these before, because since I invented it this way, you simply haven't. There might be a couple of you who have, but ultimately you really haven't. So I'm just going to start you all from scratch. So being the sales queen that I am, it's all about sales, that's the goal of what we're looking to achieve, right? So ultimately, if you want to be successful in business, how that's marked is how many sales have you got? How much money have you made? I mean, it's the easiest way to see if you're achieving something. You can have the greatest product in the world, and if nobody buys it, you're not going to achieve very much. So selling, sales, collecting cash is really your indication of where success is going. All right. So we're going to call it a 2023 game plan. In a year's time, when they find it on the radio, you can use it exactly the same for 2024. But we're only, 6 weeks out? So let's look into it. It's a good place to start. So a sales game plan is in 4 sections. The first section is it's a list of the things that you sell. The second section is a list of ways you can advertise. The third part is your expectations, so what you're looking to achieve. And part number 4 is how we're going to track it. So at the very beginning, let's go with this. Grab yourself a piece of paper in your notebook. The first thing I want you to do is start writing down a list of things that you sell. So let's just have a look at the things that you sell. So if you're a coach, let's start with Alison. I'll grab some examples so that you can start to get an idea, but just write this down. Number 1, list of things I sell, right? And then put the price next to it. So if you sell more than one, if you sell one thing, you start with the thing you want to sell the most. So I sell 3 things, right? I sell, let's say 4. I sell personal coaching sessions. I sell group classes, and I sell 2 books. So one is called Overcoming Insecurity, and the other one is How to Go From No Sales to Sales. So I sell 4 things. That's it, right? Alison, as the parenting co-pilot, how many things do you sell?
5.
5? What are they?
So I have my group VIP coaching, which includes one-to-one sessions. I have my other group coaching, which doesn't include the one-to-ones. I have a 1 hour to 90 minutes.
Yep. So coaching sessions,
Yep. I have programs that are just done for you that you can jump on, and I have books for sale.
Great. All right. So there's 5 things that Alison has. Ray, how many things do you sell?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I sell 2 things. I sell a fuel tab at $7 a pill. And then just released yesterday was a special oil to go in your motor. And that goes for about $40.
Okay, thank you, Ray. So let's look at this just as a quick example. See how Ray said he sells 2 things. Did anyone notice in Ray's pitch? What does Ray pitch in his elevator pitch each time? Ignore the fact this other thing just come out available today. But how many things, what does Ray say in his pitch? Joanne, what does he say?
He just says one thing about the fuel pill.
The fuel pill, that's right. So in your elevator pitch, this is going to show you that you might sell many things, but it's going to show you how you advertise it. When it comes to an elevator pitch, that will be something that we write into section 2. When it comes to an elevator pitch, you can only do one thing at a time, right? And the best way to run an elevator pitch is exactly the same thing for basically a whole year. Learn to say it really well over the course of a year, be excited by it, run the experiment and see if your elevator pitch can convert customers. Because when you change your pitch all the time, then nobody knows what you're talking about. And then you have to do a lot of back-end work to convert sales. So they'll come from somewhere. So mine was my group sales classes all year. And the only reason I changed it was because my book finally got finished and it's gone to the printer and we had to sell it. I can't sell it if I'm talking about group sales classes, right? So it's important. Here, so notice here, for a sales game plan, it's important you know what you sell. Can't be complicated. It's literally a list of a couple of things. You know what you sell and you know what the price is, right? So that's step number 1, write down the things that you sell. Step number 2 is write down the list of ways that you advertise. Let's ask a few people. Lana, how do you advertise? For the tradies, how do you advertise?
Networking, social media posts, and just talking to people.
Right, and by social media posts, what are they? What platforms are you on?
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Okay, got it. So she said networking, she said Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, right? Elevator pitch, just write that one down. That's technically networking, but just write down elevator pitch is another one. Who's got a Google business page? Right, write it down. Who's got a YouTube channel? Right, write it down. Now, I'm not asking if you use these platforms, I'm just asking who has one, right? I don't use LinkedIn, I don't use, Instagram at all. I refuse to get an account so I don't have to put it on the list, right? If I had an account, I could technically put it on the list, I'm just never going to use it. So I just choose not to have it in the first place. See, so when you have a list of all these different ways you can advertise, you can look at, which one am I going to use? But most likely it's not going to be all of them, right? So I have Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, networking. Inside networking, like in brackets, right next to networking, the events you go to. I have Business at Breakfast, I have Brainy Bunch, Be Connected, HMP, Women in Business Connect, Michelle Cruz's Coffee Club. So I'm looking at like a bunch load. I don't necessarily recommend you have a heap, but you'll probably find that there's a number of ones that you go to. So write those down on the list. What's another way to advertise? Anyone else got another way to advertise? Email. So who's got a signature? Who's got a signature block? Who's got a sales signature block? Right. For those who know what the sales signature block is, just put your hand up. If you're not sure what it is, you've still got a signature block. So if you've got a signature block or a sales signature block, sending out emails is a great way of advertising because it tells people who you are and you don't have to explain it. So that becomes another great way to advertise, right? So now we've got a list of things we sell plus a list of all the different ways that we could be advertising, right? The next section, step number 3, is what are you looking to achieve? And this comes down to, I think, looking to achieve and how many sales you want really comes down to how many people do you want to help next year? Because that's how many you're looking to sell, right? Martha, how many people do you want to help next year?
100.
100. Okay, write down 100. Jacqueline, how many people do you want to help next year?
300.
300, right? So write down 300 people. So number 3, the heading is expectation dash how many people I'm going to help, right? So you write down 300. Winnie, how many people you want to help next year?
500.
500. Ray, how many cars do you want to help next year?
Hey, 3,000, already done that exercise.
3,000. Great.
Yeah.
Right? We're getting the idea, right? Quick question. Who wants to help 10 people only? Who wants to help 20 only?
Hey, can I add something to that bit?
Maybe. Go, Ray.
Hey, when you work out how many people you want to sell, you want to put a dollar sign against them to see what it's worth to you.
No. We're going to go somewhere else with that, but I hear what you're saying, Ray.
Yeah.
Just decide on how many people you're going to help. Here's the thing. Here's the secret. Money falls behind people. So mostly people come to me and they'll say, Misty, I need more sales. I need more money. Great. How many people you want to help? If you're not helping anyone, so if you don't have much money, the indication is that you're not helping much in the way you should be helping them. I'm not saying you're not helping them. I'm just saying you're not doing it with your special gift that you've got. So it's important that you can work out what you sell and the ways you can advertise what you sell so that you can put it down into who you're going to help, right? If you only wanted 10 or 20 people, then I'd say go convert them and have fun with that. But ultimately, if you want 10 or 20, you should have done it already. And if not, I'd ask you why, but the more people you help, the more you will become helped. And there's a sales, it depends on what sales problem you want to do. If you only want to help 10 or 20 people, then your sales problem becomes conversion of the people you already know versus 100, 200, 300, 3,000. It becomes where do I find 3,000 people? So your sales problem becomes getting known by 3,000 or more people. And that is sales will help themselves, will do it all themselves when you get known by more people. So if anyone had a low number, I was going to pump you up anyway. I generally say push for 500. Like Martha, don't worry about the 100, push for 500. Now, you may not reach the 500. I haven't reached the 500 in a year yet, but that doesn't mean that that's not a target that I'm heading towards. And if I, let's say, only had helped 100 people in a year and got 100 clients, at least I know what I need to achieve at least the next year, at least 100, because I've done that already, and then keep going forward. So it draws a line in the sand, right? So I would say push it up to 500, start there, and you want to go up from there. Because from 500 to 1,000 is what? Just double. Whatever you did for the first 500, get it for the next 500. Now, and I'm watching time, Jason, so I'm going to push hard here. So the last section becomes tracking. How do you track the amount that you track? All right, here, I'll give you an example. This is the Jack and Noah method, right? So if you look on my wall here, the boys have been selling my book or helping sell my book. They first started off with a list. They wanted to sell 100. So 25 on a page, 25 on a page, getting the idea, 25 on each page. How they could track their goal was every time someone bought a book, we just write the name on it. And they're now up to 105, right? When they reached, I don't know, over 50, maybe 60, they put it on the wall so that they could see it in colored tickets. So that's another way to track it is with tickets. So you can see it as it grows, your sales are going up. It's got someone's name on each one, right? So tracking becomes the people, the clients that you attract. Now, let's say for me, if I want 100 sales or 500 sales, and I'm selling books and coaching sessions and sales classes, then I would need one book to list 500, the numbers of 500, where every time a sale came through, they get written on a list. If I want 500 clients, then I need the list of 500, and every time I collect a new client, even if they buy 5 coaching sessions, they get one, just a client name. If you sell one thing to one person, you can sell a second thing to the same person. You only need, notice now, if we look at this tracking method, we can look at what is it that I'm going to sell? How can I talk about it, be it on a social media post, or an elevator pitch, and then convert that into a sale. But when you've got it as a sale, you can sell another thing around and around. The other thing I recommend that you track is every person you meet at a networking event. So that would be your networking book that I talk about at other times, where every time you go to an event, you write down the list of people at that event. Next event, you write down the next one, right? And that will help you see the amount of people you could be selling to, right? So we're going to finish up, but any quick comments or take homes from there?
Randy?
Giving you
Yeah,
something to think about. Randy, yeah?
Yes, I always write down the names of people I meet and then I try to connect with them, but I don't always, those are lists that one doesn't keep. So in other words, you should have a book or something where you keep the names, since I have gone over, like on LinkedIn, where I've gone over every so often and see all the people and connect, but I gather it's a good idea to actually have a physical book or something.
Now I have a YouTube video on that for everybody here. I'm going to put the link in the chat, but for anyone who's listening, it's on my YouTube channel, Misty Hankel, and it's called Tracking Your Networking. It's about 4 minutes and it gives you that information right there. Okay, that's it.
Good. Misty, thank you very much.